If a masked woman ever stops you on an empty street and asks, "Am I pretty?" there is no right answer. Say yes, and she takes off the mask to prove you wrong. Say no, and she decides you need a matching face. The Shinbei district of Tokyo. A 21-year-old woman named Akira was walking home through a narrow back street around 1 a.m. after finishing another night shift. She always made the same walk from the metro to her apartment, the city's neon lights bathing the main roads in glow, but this particular alley always sat in dead silence. Nothing but her own breathing and the click of her heels against the pavement. Then footsteps, not her own. She spun around. Empty street, just shadows. She kept walking, faster now, and that's when a figure stepped into view ahead of her. A woman in a long black overcoat, a plain white mask covering her face, hair falling loose enough to obscure whatever the mask didn't already hide. Who are you? Am I pretty? No, this isn't. I need to go. Am I pretty? I don't want to die. Please, I can't answer that. Just let me go. The woman reached up and slowly began peeling the mask away from her face. Kira screamed and dropped to the ground. I didn't see anything. I don't know what you look like. Please, just let me. Oh my God. Come on. Stop crying already.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I was just messing with you. It was Akira's roommate, riding the wave of a viral local rumor to pull off a genuinely cruel prank on her best friend. That was a horrible joke. I could have had a heart attack. There's already so much fear going around the city about this thing, and you're out here making it worse.
I'm sorry.
I swear, it was just a prank. A few nights later, it was Aina's turn to work the night shift. Walking home from the metro, she noticed a large shadow closing in fast behind her own, and slowed her pace, straining to hear footsteps that should have matched it. Nothing. Complete silence. But the shadow kept moving toward her regardless. She turned around. A few feet away stood a woman in a knee-length overcoat, her face unclear in the dark alley, but the mask and the loose hair drifting on the night air sent a genuine chill through Aina despite herself. Am I pretty? Oh, I get it. Ha, you're playing the same game I played on you. Fine, yes, you're very pretty, and you didn't need to stalk me down an alley at midnight to ask me that. I was already on my way home. Am I pretty? The woman lifted her hands to the mask and pulled it away.
Aina's confident smile disappeared instantly.
What stood in front of her wasn't a prank. Her lips were torn wide open at both corners, stretching from jaw to ear, flesh and blood hanging loose across her cheeks, teeth stained red. Her eyes carried a fury sharp enough to tear Aina apart on the spot. The woman reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a pair of gleaming scissors, opening and closing them with a slow, deliberate snip. Snip. Aina didn't wait for anything else. She turned and ran, and a severed head, mouth split ear to ear, sailed through the air directly into her path. She screamed, sobbing, begging, "Let me go! What did I ever do to you?" The rest of the woman's body followed, sailing through the air and reattaching itself to the floating head in one fluid, sickening motion. Scissors still in hand, she advanced. You said I was pretty. Now you'll be pretty too. You'll match me, won't you?
No.
No, I was wrong. You're not pretty at all. I hate looking at your face. It's so ugly no one could stand to look at you for even a second. What did you say? I'm not beautiful? You don't think I'm beautiful? Fine, the woman hissed. If I'm not beautiful, then no one in this city gets to be beautiful either. You'll match me. Aina's tears fell uselessly as the woman raised the scissors and tore into her face without mercy. Her screams tore through the sleeping city, and within minutes, a crowd had gathered around her body. The alley walls were streaked red. There was no trace of whoever or whatever had done it. By morning, the news had spread like wildfire. Aina's ruined face and blood-soaked body sent a wave of terror through the entire city. People stopped walking the back streets alone after dark, and the fear only deepened as more bodies turned up in the days that followed. The police had no leads, no suspect, no motive, nothing that explained why someone would inflict this much suffering before finally letting a victim die. This isn't the work of a person. a local priest finally said. This is a spirit. This is the slit-face woman. And if she isn't stopped, someone dies every single night until she's satisfied. The woman had once been extraordinarily beautiful, the kind of beauty that stopped people mid-step. Her husband, consumed by jealousy and insecurity, eventually forbade her from leaving the house or speaking to anyone at all. Before leaving for military service, he locked her inside and gave her one strict instruction: never step outside. But exactly what he feared happened anyway. Alone for months, she grew close to another man in the neighborhood. Her husband returned home one day, unannounced, and found her with him. Consumed by rage, he grabbed a pair of scissors lying nearby and tore her face apart with them. She died that day, but something of her never left. A starving, furious spirit obsessed with beauty and revenge, wandering the city ever since. Enough is enough, a young priest named Hashima said, hearing the full account. If answering her question correctly is the only way to end this, I'll be the one to face her. That night, Hashima walked into Tokyo's back alleys alone, searching. After a while, a dark shape drifted toward him out of the shadows. He tightened his grip on a talisman and a fistful of salt, and began murmuring a chant under his breath as she approached. The air around him dropped instantly, painfully cold. Am I pretty? He said nothing. Am I pretty? She repeated, and with a scream, tore the mask from her face. The same torn, blood-soaked visage that had ended Aina's life. Hashima forced himself to hold his ground and hurled the salt and talisman directly at her. The moment they touched her, she let out a scream that shook the entire alley and vanished into mist along with the cold. For several days afterward, no one saw her. The killings stopped completely. Hashima allowed himself to believe his chant had freed her spirit for good. It was the calm before the storm. That night, walking home through an empty street, Hashima felt something impossible. The alley refused to end. The further he walked, the longer it seemed to stretch. By the time his breath was ragged from walking, a voice he recognized instantly spoke from directly behind him. You betrayed me too. Betrayal is only ever punished one way. I'm back. And this time, the death I bring will be a show no one forgets. Hashima woke with a start, drenched in sweat. Just a dream. But if that dream is telling the truth, something terrible is coming. The next night, a woman named Misato sat in her room scrolling through videos on her phone. Without warning, the screen went black, and a face bloomed across it. Torn lips stretching from jaw to ear, teeth stained red, screaming directly at the camera. The phone slipped from Misato's hands. The screen shattered, and the woman stepped physically out of it, standing in the room with her. By morning, Misato's walls were streaked with blood. Her body found in the middle of the room, face sliced beyond recognition. Her door was locked from the inside, an officer told a colleague. No one entered or left that room. So who did this to her? First it was happening on the streets, the colleague replied. Now it's happening inside people's own homes. You're right to be worried, sir. My sister died the exact same way 2 days ago. My uncle heard glass breaking in the bathroom. He pounded on the door, but she never opened it. He heard her screaming for help right up until it stopped. We found her a few minutes later, covered in blood. Her whole face cut apart with what looked like scissors. This isn't isolated anymore. We're getting reports from every district in the city. People dying in front of phone screens, computer monitors, bathroom mirrors, even in the middle of busy streets. What happened to this city? I think she's taunting me specifically, Hashima admitted quietly. I tried to stop her once. I think she wants me to know it didn't work, and now she's killing twice as fast to prove it. This all started because of me. I have to be the one to end it. Late that night, Hashima returned to the exact alley where he'd first faced her, and called out her name into the dark. The cold set in almost immediately, deep enough that breathing became difficult. The alley's lights flickered violently, and then, directly in front of him, she was simply there. Am I pretty? Whether someone is beautiful or not, Hashima said steadily, everyone has the right to live their life on their own terms. Your husband didn't kill you for your beauty. He killed you out of a jealousy that had nothing to do with what you looked like. The man you loved wanted your heart, not your face. And you can only ever punish a face. You can't touch a soul. Not his, not mine, not anyone's. She clapped her hands over her ears, screaming. Free yourself. Your beauty was never your enemy. His madness took your life, not your face. And you've taken the lives of people who did nothing wrong. That doesn't make you beautiful. It makes you the opposite. Hashima raised a small, blessed mirror and held it directly in front of her. She stared into her own reflection, the torn, blood-soaked, ruined face staring back at her for the first time in 70 years, and let out one final, shattering scream before dissolving completely into smoke. She never appeared in that city again. She spent 70 years asking a question no one could answer, because the only true answer was the one she could never bring herself to hear. If a stranger ever asks you something that feels like a trap with no right answer, the safest response is usually the truth, not the flattery. If this urban legend got under your skin, hit subscribe. Next week we're covering the phone call that only rings once, right before someone in the house disappears. Comment scissors if you'd have frozen up the second she asked the question.